have the recap of previous class. In the previous class, we were talking about a component, right, called single acting cylinder, and how single acting cylinder moves. This had been shown in the lab, right? You have been made to know everything. Now, just we'll have the reference of the same, and today I changed the actuator output is called cylinder. Today it's double acting cylinder, but in the previous class it was single acting cylinder. So the moment output is changed, all the belongings will change too. Why? Because this has two output ports, whereas in the previous class the component which we were using, that was of single acting, that was having only one port, right? So that is why we say there is a little change at the circuit, and this is what we are supposed to talk today, right? We made two circuits and we'll see the difference between these two. First of all, before going to start, just wanted to take you through this statement so that you could understand what is the purpose of making this circuit. Why did I make, right? So this statement says a double acting cylinder has to move to forward when 3/2 push button is pressed. See, this is the state condition. When this component is activated and a cylinder has to move, and gets back when same push button is released. So this is the statement. Just to fulfill the statement, what did I do? I made a circuit, right? Say this circuit can be used, right? Can be used for the same objective to do, right? Just to open the gate, to close the gate, and to push any object, right? To pick even just for the sake of pick and place. Like these are the applications can be performed out of this, right? So this is one example. So before going to make the circuit, what we'll do is we'll decide what are the components do we require to make the circuit. That I did here. List of the components, right? So how did I confirm what are the components do we require? Having read the statement, because in statement things are crystal clear, right? A double acting cylinder, it has to move, right? So output component is here, double acting cylinder, and if it has to move, then some directional control valve must be there which will feed the pressure to the cylinder so that it could advance, right? So what are those components? So there is written 3/2 push button operated valve. It means switching component is listed, but directional control valve is missing from the question. So this is what we have to expect, right? If switching element is there, output is there, right? And switching valve, this switching valve has only one port, right? This has two ports, and this component has not been mentioned in the water statement. So how one can confirm? So one can confirm having seen these two ports, because cylinder has two ports. So the component which we require, that must have at least two ports, and that has 5/2, because in 5/2 or in 4/2, right, has two actuation port, but in 3/2 has only one. So if you use only this one, right, how will you connect this output, whereas it has two? So that is why in between this interpreter must be there, where, right, connection could be established properly, right? Now question arises, how will it move? The moment you press, right, you know rest of the story, but I want to make you explain, right? The moment you press, this state will override, this P gets connected to A, pressure will reach at buy, this buy will again, right, actually feed the pressure, and because of that this will override here. The moment it will override, this P gets connected to A because of this slant arrow. In the same fashion, because of this dot arrow, B gets connected to S. So this pressure will be fed in this direction, and it will be, right, act on this surface. Due to that, it will advance to forward, and the pressure which was available in this chamber, right, through that will releases from B to S, and because of that cylinder move to forward, right? But the moment you leave, what happens? It gets back to initial because of this spring stress, and the moment it gets back, there is no pressure is here because of no pressure, again this will act in the same manner the way it was acted. This results into, right, getting back a cylinder. In the same fashion, right, this cylinder move in the same fashion, but there is a slight difference. It was having only one switching element, but it has two. This has double acting cylinder, this too has double acting cylinder. One more difference. This was having 5x2 single pilot port operated valve, but this component is 5x2 double pilot port operated valve. So what change will take place? If you go through the statement says when 3x2 push button is activated, cylinder has to move to forward, it has to be there. It means once you activate, it goes to forward and will be there, will stop there, will not get back, even being released like it was getting back, right? So for that, what did I do? I took another button that will feed vessel from the opposite side, and that will, because of that, it will get back. Fine. So this element is fully responsible, right, to go ahead the cylinder, and this component is fully responsible to take it back. And how this will take place, you could understand the entire story, right? Thank you.